Throw in, yeah. Go on then, Tom.
Too busy pumping gum.
Hey, I'll just pick some up and send it.
Yes, go on then. All right.
Mr. Nosh, what time we fishing?
10.
Thank you very much.
10 out for.
Barry.
Barry 52, 20.
Frank.
16.
Well, fish, Frank.
How you doing, mate? How much you last night? £15.
Oh, that was Dave Woods then.
3.
3.
I'm 3. What?
Charles, bring down there, got Mr. Incredible, number 10.
10, thank you, sir.
Corner.
Which corner?
Right, move
Ringer.
away from scales.
17.
One's over there.
Ringer, 17.
What's that? From time now.
Yes. Part sensible, because you might have been
Graham.
back there.
It's down that side.
Yeah.
22.
22.
Wherever that is.
Yes, Schofield.
19.
19.
Where you going, David?
You what, Tony?
David, where you going?
15's up corner.
Jimmy. 7.
I hope you get your
Scales
first
gone.
again.
Anyway, 25.
25, Simon.
Simon, that's a good big Simon.
I don't want to get flying
Which
again.
one have we done? 4.
4, Bob. 4, where is it?
Nigel, how are you doing?
Right.
Happy today? No,
Nice
not
boat.
happy. 24.
24.
Just a minute, just a minute, just a minute. Just a minute, yeah.
Checking scale.
Oh, we're just checking if these scales want it. To see you. 13 and all.
13 unlucky.
I've got 8, just up here, and I've got 2 extras left on the on. 5. Not far off.
John Whitehead.
Hi, John.
5.
Why did Jeff Gord always work like that?
12.
Can't get it. Nigel.
He won't get scales.
12.
Well,
James Face. Peg 2. Is it me and you, Tom?
3 left.
Oh yeah, there is. Who's next? Who hasn't dropped, Jack?
Jack, all the class. Happy New Year, cook.
8.
Just up here.
Mary at the cottage garage.
Our side.
Yep. Me and you, Tom.
Yeah.
You want me to draw?
Yeah, go on, I'll let
Here we go, 2 pegs left. 23
18.
and 18 for Tony, so we shall see you on the bank.
3.
Well, good morning, fisher people. My name's Alan Royce from Fish on TV. It is the 7th of June, Tuesday the 7th of June, and you are joining me at Bridge Fisheries at Thorpe Audlin, Bridge Cottage Fisheries at Thorpe Audlin. It's a pal of mine, Ian Smith, Smigger as we call him. He's got 2 ponds on this on his land here, and we are fishing the new pond, the big one. It's 26 pegger. Apparently it's carp, 2 to 5 pounds. Don't really know anything about the venue. So I've booked our club on it today to see what it's all about. Give Ian a bit of business as well. It looks nice enough. I've thought a pole. It sounded just like a pole fishing. Didn't come to have a look and see what I just thought pole all day today, but I've only got a 14.5 metre pole, and some of them pegs are a bit further. We only have a 16 metre limit in our club anyway. I don't know what peg 23 is like. I've walked around it, but I can't remember. Can I reach it with the pole? Can't I reach it with the pole? But sort of for 70 to 90 pounds has been winning matches. I'm not sure how full those matches have been. I do know they've had them on evenings, which does make a difference. I've got a feeling it might fish a little bit harder today. 21 of us on a 26 peg lake, so it's pretty full. Not making excuses, they are just the facts. The more pressure that's on a lake, I know I get some comments, people telling me that I should be using so and so when they fished it, la di da di da, and there's been 2 anglers on. You put 60 anglers on and you're not going to catch the same. It's a fact. So there we go. So we'll get to peg 23. We'll see what it's all about. I've also got some more info coming up on this fishery. Ian's on about holding a quite a large payout match. So we'll get some more information on that one and find out what it's all about, and we'll get that advertised He's told me he'd like to put £2,000 up for first prize, so that'd be interesting to see how he's going to do it. I think there may be qualifiers and a final, so more info on that later on in the year. So let me get to my peg. I'm hoping I can just fish pole. I will set a method or a bomb up just for a coffee break, sandwich break maybe. It is with the old boys. I know if I'm fishing bigger matches, I probably wouldn't do that unless I'm not doing very well, which has been happening lately. I'm not having a good run at the minute. Don't want to talk about Allcroft because that was an absolute disaster. Looking back, I dropped a pig. I made a mistake. Don't think I fished it right. I'd got in my head when I first started my peg what I was going to do, and then changed my mind. There we go. Right, on to Bridge Cottage Fisheries. Let me get to my peg. Let's see how we get on. It's looking like a nice enough day. So I need to get plumbed up, find out what it's all about, and get some fishies caught. Right, here we are then, folks. Already on peg 23. There's 2.5, 3 minutes left. Got Nigel at the side of me here. We've got Simon Hudson, John Danby, end peg. That looks lovely. Loads of room over there. We've got Jeff and Bob and all that lot around there. I think Mr. Incredible's around there. And then we've got the mighty fisherman Graham Scott.
Hello.
Little Baz. We've got the Coiled Spring, Tony Glue. Who's that next to him? Oh, Ringer and Frank. They're not happy because they've drawn in the same section. So, so they've only one chance of winning one section, haven't they? Brilliant, that. You can't write that, that's marvellous. Right. Know absolutely nothing about this fishery. All I will say is, have a look. That is too far for me to get to. Me and Graham are sharing. It's like a bit of a bay sort of thing, but I've decided to go over here, and I've only got a 14.5 metre pole, so I'm probably about a metre, maybe not quite a metre short. So what's my plan? I've set up top 2 and 3 down here, just on it, just as it slightly gets deeper. I've got one at 13 metres in the deepest part of the water, and then I've gone up the shelf where it's about 2.5 foot. Just let me have a look at the time. Excuse me, folks, I'll be shouting time in a sec. So I'm thinking pellets and maggots. I'm certainly going to have maggots along there. I've been told maggots can work quite well. I've set a mugging rig up and I can have a little flick about all around here. Now strangely, even though it comes further away from the bank here, it's the same depth here as it is about 2 metres away. So, and then we've got about 5.5 to 6 foot here and about 4 foot down here. 2 secs. Oh, it's still. So that's the plan. It's pretty much straightforward. I keep looking at the time. Keep it dead simple. So I've basically got, I've got some micros which I'm going to squish up, pellets I'm going to chuck in front of me, and a bit of ground bait. I wasn't going to set that, but because it's further away, I've set a little method up as well, and dead reds. A few wafters, a bit of meat if I decide I want to change a few things. Time! Right, there we go. We're all in and they're all cheering. They all rushed to the pegs. Everybody's part, as you can see, part behind the pegs here, blocked me out. So I've had to walk all the way bloody round. Damn it. So, there we go. We're fishing 10 wild 4. I think it's going to fish hard. You're probably wondering why I've not set a margin big up. I don't fancy it being this close and this close. Graham's got a spare peg to his right. I'd fancy it there, so I'm hoping that over there is going to be where I'm going to catch. So let's get in, let's see how we crack on, see if we get 1 or 2 fishies. No. A decent scrap up though. Yeah. First fish of the day. Beautiful. Right, back in. Get a few more. One or two people's catching. One or two fish, like so. Steady away, folks, steady away. Right then, folks. First hour, I've had 4 carp. In the mint condition. Love, I've had a common and three small mirrors. And I've had them at 14.5 metres in the sort of 2.5 foot of water. Just feeding micros and maggots. Very tiny little indications, no sort of yanking it under. You've got to be on the ball with them. But it seems a little bit cagey at the minute. Scotty's had 1 or 2 on feeder to the island, and just while I've been setting my phone up, I've just gone out there. I've just fed my short line. I'll be having a look on that, and I've not even tried the deeper water just yet, but I've noticed Nigel and Simon are getting, I've had 1 or 2. So I've had 4, Scotty's had 3 I think. I think that's as good as what it is at the minute. I don't think this weather's helping, and I don't think it being peg for peg almost. Like I said, Scotty's got a bit of room there. People's had 1 or 2 fish. I keep seeing landing nets go up in air on the other side. I'm not sure how many they've caught over there, but they're catching 1 or 2. But not knowing the venue, I'm quite happy with that little start to start with. And I'll just try the other lines and see, and just keep changing 1 or 2 things, keep rotating the lines and just see how things develop. Like I say, it's probably the worst time of day, 11:45. It's a lot hotter than it said it were going to be as well. But I've got to say, it's comfortable fishing, nice little venue. We'll just have to see what the results are. Like I say, I don't think it'll be the sort of 70, 80, 90 pounds that they've been getting on an afternoon stroke evening match. I don't know, it could be anything from 20 to 50 pounds today. I don't know. Like I say, I don't know the venue. It's just, you get a feel for what's happening on day, and I think with all this pressure on it and the weather, I think it's making it seems quite difficult. So I was getting 1 or 2 indications, not a lot at 14.5 metres. I've got a funny feeling that might start fishing a bit better a little bit later on. So we'll keep rotating, we'll keep having a look, try the different lines and see how we get on. And I've got pellet on the short line, and I'm going to fish maggot on the other lines. Right, let's see how we get on. I've probably got about 8 or 9 pound. We'll see how the day develops. We've been fishing an hour and 40 minutes. And what I've got seems to be all right. I'm not behind at all, but we'll see how we get on. Right, going on to my 13-metre line. And it's the second put in. I had an indication earlier. Graham keeps getting 1 or 2 signs on his feeder.
I think that's stuck in mud.
And Simon's had 1 or 2, but there's a guy, I saw a landing net over there earlier. It's John Whitehead. I keep seeing his landing net pole go in the air, and I think he's had about 8. Oh, this is putting a right scrap up, this. I'm not going crazy with bait. I know it's in, so Simon's in again. He's getting right up against bank, but I can't quite reach the bank. He's only got about 11 metres to that, I think. Maybe, no, 13 metres maybe. I just can't quite get close enough to it. That's on my 13-metre line in the deeper waters, bottom of the shelf. maggots and micro. I've got three dead reds on. Oh, he's trying hard, is this one? It might be foul hooked. It feels funny, this. It looks funny. It is, it's foul hooked.
Oh,
In the tail, in the tail. They call, I'm trying to keep up with Jeff with foul hookers and it's unhooked itself.
not doing bad.
There we go. Lovely little, it's about £1.5 mirror carp. I thought it would go in a little bit. But there we go. We shall take them all. I don't care what anybody says. So that's 5. We'll put £1.5. Probably about £10 now. Because I think it'll be a low weight today with the way the weather is and the pressure on the venue. So a few reds in there. Probably putting about 20 reds in and capping it off with a few micros. As you can see, it's probably about 5.5 foot deep where I am. I'd love to get a little bit closer to the iron. If I had a 16 metre pole, I'd be fine, but unfortunately, I haven't got a 16 metre pole. That's my next investment, I think. And up towards the bank, I've got like a spread shot where it's shallow, and a 4x12's Preston pellet. And on this line, I've got a bulk and 2 droppers Preston pellet. 2mm bristle, easy enough to see. And I've got 3 dead reds on a 16 Ks, and probably get away with lighter gear actually, looking at the size of fish, but apparently there are some bigger ones in. I certainly don't think it's putting them off. I mean, these fish look brand new. They're absolutely mint condition. Oh, no sooner had I turned the camera off, literally about 15 seconds later it went under. Nice positive bite, probably about the best one I've had today, that. Hope it's not foul hook, because foul hook fish don't give any indication on what's happening. Some swearing going off, folks, here, isn't there? We've got Victor Meldrew, Mick Smith. He moans more fish on than anybody I know. Don't you, Mick? He's moaning like hell and then he gets a fish. And he's doing alright as well. They were trying to tell us there were no fish there and then he had one. Got it darting about everywhere. You just see it turn it.
Steady, Nosh, that's in mouth.
I know, can you believe it? Come here. That is, no it isn't. It ain't, it's under its gill. Another foul hooker. Can you believe it? That's 2 foul hook fish. Well. Right under its gill, that one, folks. I thought it was trying hard again.
Nice. We can't compete with it.
Yeah, we'll have a look. They're moaning like hell. Now look at those, absolutely peachy fish. Beautiful.
Catching them with two mouths. One up front and one up its arse.
But we do know these carp, they waft the fins everywhere, don't they? And if it goes across your bait, you can foul hook them. They're like this, aren't they?
Are they?
So I ain't bothered, as long as we keep getting those fishes in. Now I changed it up to a long line again, 14.5 metres. Simon's getting one or two now tight up, but I can't quite get that tight up. And the peg opposite, I keep seeing the landing net going up. He's definitely catching more than most. So a little stocky. Crikey, lively. Like Sonic, isn't he? Zooming about on top there. Another little stocky. Lovely little fish. Alright, we'll have another look there. Like I say, Simon, he can get to that bank easily. I would if I had a 16-metre pole. I think we need to invest in one of those, don't we? A couple of dead reds on. And I'll tell you what, it's warm now, folks. Hoo-hoo, warm. Right, let's get back out. Right, folks, first bite in about an hour and a half. People have started catching one or two. And I was just telling Ian, the owner, I'm surprised I hadn't had one drop out there. And just as I looked at him, it nearly put pole out of my hand. Now we think, peg 5 I think it is over there, John Whitehead, we think he's absolutely running away with match. Graham's had one on for last. How long has he had it on, Ian?
20 minutes.
20 minutes. It's about £3.5, I think. It's a bit bigger. Simon's catching nice and steady, so is John on end peg. I'm a little bit behind, I could do a few more fish now. We've got an hour and 20 minutes to go. Yeah, putting a bit of a scrap up, his lad. Come on, fishy. Not ready yet. Young bucks are fit as out, aren't they? Well, he's not wanting to come in, is he? He's not wanting to show his face.
Come on, Nosh, what are you doing?
Well, I've had mine on I've had mine on 2.5 minutes. You've had yours on 22.5 minutes.
Yeah, it looks like I might have it on another 22.5 minutes. I'm doing no with it. Oh, it's getting a bit twisty now.
Oh, bloody hell. Alright, battle up. I've got this one on 14.5 metre line. I've had no bites on any of the lines for the last hour and a half. So we need a bit of a flurry to catch one or two people up, folks. Tony Glue has been moaning all morning, he's gone quiet and now he's catching. Not heard of what Mr. Incredible's done. Doesn't sound too incredible to me, I've not heard anything. Come on, fishy. Oh, I've been having a go at Graham for not getting it fishing, I can't get it myself. Oh, it's a decent one, biggest one today. Until I get right now minutes, that's why he's putting a scrap up, it's about £4 or £5, I think, might even be bigger.
now, not.
Yeah, he's got a right temper on him, this one. There we go, in the net. Get in. The elastic's just got caught. Oh, that's a very welcome fish. It's got to be 4.5, £5, methinks. There we go. Nigel's got Tourette's as well, folks. Just can't help yourself, can you, Nigel? So that's a very welcome fish. On the drop. Just so I moan it. In fact, I think I moaned that one on, Nige.
I know you did.
Right, folks, let's get back in. Let's get a few more caught. Well, we're into another one. Shipped out, missed a bite, and then got the next one. Little stocky. There we go, people. Lovely little fish. 2-pounder. Can't complain. So what I've done, I've stopped feeding maggots now because I've noticed Scotty started catching and been catching on maggot, but not feeding maggot. And that's what I've done now. Whether they've just turned up on the bait I've been putting out there, we'll never know. But it just seems a big coincidence that I've cut the maggot out and just feeding micros, and it has made a difference. And Simon's into another one. That looks like a good fish. He's got all his elastic out there. So I'm a little bit behind in our section. So I need to get my finger out, folks, and get a few more of those fish. An hour and 12 minutes. 20 minutes, 25 minutes to go. And Scotty's been catching quite consistent, folks. He's had a good last hour or so. Well, last 2 hours to be fair. And they've been catching to my left as well. At the end peg and Simon. And I don't think anybody, with the sound of it's going to beat John on the other side. Just can't keep the bites coming regular enough. But another nice little stocky. Oh, so hooked itself in net. There we go. Another pound and a bit. I need a right flurry here for the last 20 minutes. I could do with one a chuck for a while. Yeah, about 20 odd pounds. I think Scotty's got about 30 odd. Just over 30. Same with Simon. Don't know how Mr. Incredible's doing. They've started catching one or two down to my right. I don't think any of them will trouble these guys. There's about 4 or 5 that's catching quite well, so. And the trouble is, as well, the other 2 guys that are catching well are in my section. Say they can get right up to the island, whereas me and Graham were just off the island. But you can only do your best, folks. You can only do your best. So I've tried a bit of ground bait that time. Yeah, another go. Let's see if we get another. Right, fishy people, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, and anybody else I might have missed. Well, new fishery. That is literally 15 minutes from my house. I've known Ian for quite a while. This is a new pond. The fish that are in there have been in about... He did his first stocking in November, and then I think he said one in January. And the one in January, I think there were about 500 carp from... Well, the fish we've been catching have been £1 up to £7. I think the biggest that we've had today, but there are bigger in. He's told me there's about 20 between 8 and 10, 12 pounds. One were caught at £12.8 in one of matches. So quite a few fish. I think it's potential to be a cracking little fishery. You certainly need a 16-metre pole on some areas, and then it's the feeder to try and get to the other side, unless you fish with a long lash, unless you fish with bigger poles. But like our club, it's a 16-metre limit. I think it's enough. But I've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed the day, trying to work it out. I've never fished it before. Ian did say they were catching on red maggots. So I've mainly targeted fishing on the pole. I set 3 lines up. I didn't bother with the margin. I just couldn't see, with it being pegged as tight as what it was today, I just couldn't see fish coming into the margins. So top 2 and 2, about 4 foot of water, 13 metres, about 5.5, nearly 6 foot on the slope. And then also on the slope, it's a very slow slope coming from the bank. I've had about 2.5 to 3 foot. I couldn't get any further unless I got a long lash, which I did. I got like a mugging rig out, and I did try flicking it round the island, and I could get within that if I wanted. And I never had a bite. I spent about half an hour doing that to start with, just to see if there was, without any baiting, just to see what's happening, see what other people are doing. But it was apparent right from the, I think I've mentioned it, it's fished hard for the first 2 or 3 hours, to be fair. I also predicted when I spoke to you that I thought 20 to 50 pounds might win the match, just because when you start match fishing, even though I don't know this, you get a feel for what might happen. It was red hot. I mean, I don't know if you can tell, I've got a right bloody suntan today. I just felt 20 to 50. I thought 50 would be winning it, and I thought anything over 20 would be up there. Now the fish that we've been catching, as you've seen, are absolutely mint condition. So if you do visit this fishery, people, don't be yanking hooks out and doing silly stuff. Look after them, because it's an absolute pleasure catching them fish. They're absolutely mint. Beautiful, beautiful fish. So look after them for him. That's all. That's my little rant. So today we've had first, second, third and fourth, and 4 sections. My section has fished the best, and it's been very, very close in our section. So let's start with your sections. Today, what have I fished today? What have I fished today? I started off putting maybe 15 to 20 maggots in at the most, capped off with a few micros. I was shipping out to 14.5 metres. I didn't pre-bait anywhere else. I don't really see point in that. That's my feeling. Unless you know a fishery and you know something's going to happen. I wanted to see what were happening. So gone out to 14.5. And I've had a few indications. I've had 4 fish in first hour. Quite happy with that. And then I've really struggled. I've struggled to get a few fish. And I think I've ended up with about 13 fish. Something like that. I've had an hour and a half, nearly 2 hours where I just couldn't get a bite. Scotty at the side of me, he'd had about 4 or 5 fish, saw where I was actually catching. And I've told you, as a mighty fisherman, not many people who do this. He's seen what was happening, and he's changed how he was fishing. He's gone to 16 metres in the same sort of water as me, same sort of depth, fished maggot. He's fed, no maggots, he's fed micros, 4 mils, capped off with a few micros, and he's ended up catching quite well, and he's ended up coming second in match as Scotty. So well done, Scotty. That's the experience of the guy. I've told you before, he's a class act, and he's proved it today. So well done, Scotty. 13 metre line. Yes, I got 2 fish, but they were foul hooks. Doesn't really tell you a great deal. It tells you that there's 1 or 2 fish knocking about. I came dead depth. I came just off the bottom. I never had another bite on that line. Not one bite. Top 2 and 2 in front of me. I kept, after a couple of hours, I started putting a bit of bait in there. Not a lot. And I never had a bite on that line neither. Very frustrating. Back out to 14 metres, 14.5 metres now. I've had a few more fish. Last 5 minutes, I flicked my mugging, nothing for another half hour after that. Flick my mugging rig out along the banking. Under it goes. Last it comes out, off. That was with 5 minutes to go. How big it was, don't know. Was it a pound? Was it £3? Or bigger? We don't know. So that will definitely work at some point when they're having it for sure. That's my day's fishing. I've ended up with £21.14, which is not a great deal of weight, but I got past the 20 that I thought we'd be fishing for. So let's get on to the sections first. Your first section is Bob Huntington from peg 4 with £14.15. Nigel Middleton on peg 12 with £15.6. Tony Glue moaned his socks off all morning, got his first bite at 2 o'clock and ended up with £18.8. And your fourth section with £23.13 in my section was Simon Hudson. So what a set of mighty fishermen you are, guys. Well done. Very, very close in our section. There was a £22.4 and £21.14. That fish would it have won me the section? Who knows? But I'm sure people's lost fish as well. So there you go. I think I've probably come, so 4, 5, 6, 6th or 7th out of 21, so not too disastrous, I suppose. So let's get on to your top 4. We had 4 places. In 4th place we had Mr. Incredible. Well done, Mr. Incredible. He's back, £24.6. He's actually caught right in the margins. I think he was on peg, where are you, he was on peg 8, so he had got a margin to himself there, and he was catching in that much water. He had a 7-pounder out of that, right in the margins, so something to bear in mind. Most people have caught a maggot today. In 3rd place, we have got Mick Smith, another one, Victor Meldrew, moans for England, £24.12, end peg again there. Well done, Mick Smith. What a mighty fisherman you are. Oh, Steve, Mr. Incredible. What a mighty fisherman you are. Well done, son. In 2nd place, mighty fisherman himself, peg 22 next to me, with £43.9. So that was a great thing that he did there, making the change. Class anglers do that all the time. So well done, Scotty. I'm pretty sure if he'd have fished that from the off, he could have been his winner, but you never know, dear. Did they just turn up? Don't know. In 1st place, pretty much catching down the middle, just past middle apparently, feeding a few, he only had a pint of maggots, feeding a few red maggots and fishing 2 and 3 live maggots on the hook is John Whitehead. He's coming with £60 and 3 ounces from peg 5. He is this week's, oh boys, mightiest fisherman. So what we learnt today, definitely up against that island, which you'd expect. They like it in sort of 3 foot of water to shallower. Maggot at the moment seems to be catching all the fish. That is the main bait. So if you visit this place, dead reds, whether you have a single maggot on or 3 maggots on, don't think it'll make much difference. All depends how you feed it. John's not catapulted any maggots at all today. He's just catapulted in and taking it steady away, and he's caught steady all day. So that's a decent day's fishing for John Whitehead. So a little bit of info there. 1 or 2 people I've caught on bomb and on feeder, but I've had to go on feeder and had a few little rattles. Scotty had a couple. Feeder's not really worked today, not like it can do, so just something to bear in mind. But I think this fishery has got potential. I'm sure he'll probably have another restocking plan at some point. These fish have got to settle down. I don't know how many fish are in there. From what he's telling me, it sounds like there could be up to 1,000 fish in there, which is it's a lot of fish. So that is the insights to Bridge Cottage Fisheries at Thorpe Audley. So check it out, guys. Lovely little fishery. Ian's a smashing fella. It's only a £5 to come fishing here, cheap as chips. So get yourselves down and give it a go. And thank you, Ian, Ian Smith for letting us fish it. We shall be back at some point. So thanks for watching. Don't forget, folks, absolutely free to subscribe. If you click the notification bell, you will get all our videos as we upload them. And a thumbs up. Monkey, what are you doing looking at all them fishes out there? Come on, you come up. Yeah, would be very, very nice. So until Hayfield Lakes, a week on Saturday. Take care, folks, and we shall see you pretty soon. Don't forget, fish on.